Alright, so no introduction today, but I'll still leave the link to description box down below. Still follow me on social media like VtuberSilvervale on Twitter, Instagram, all that other good stuff. Mine's just in case your game will get shut down, terminated, shut down, what have you. But still, before I begin with that, I just gotta give a huge, massive freaking shout out to my dude. Like, even though granted, I don't really talk about him that much. I only talked about the other dude, Keo, a few times, another virtual VTuber. I talked about a lot of drama and controversies and a lot of crazy hot takes and shit that happen from the virtual VTuber community. So besides Keo, it's another one I watch sometimes because Revy says Desu. So gotta give massive props to him for letting the subscriber know about this because without him I probably would never known about this. Anyways, I probably would have heard it from somewhere else maybe. I don't know. Before the beginning, I'm playing some old even though it's like from 3 or 4 years ago, the older Forest game, but I heard about this 2 months ago, this Sons of the Forest game, which I know is a real big thing, not that long, with February, March. So I guess it was a real big thing trending on TikTok and Twitter and Instagram, all these other social media platform sites and all that. So I saw a little bit of the gameplay. Yeah, it's alright. It's not that great. It's not the worst thing either, but like as far as story goes, the story is really good for it. The origin story and like how it all began. Very fascinating stuff on the story part of it. The mechanics are okay too for games. A lot of the freaking vehicles and machines they use is real cool too. I'll admit that. As far as everything else is just kind of boring. But anyways, I'm gonna be doing a separate video on this news. Unfortunately, I'll leave the link in the description box down below if you want to read it yourself. Very unfortunate news. If any guys grew up in the '90s, even if you were a '90s teenager, if you were born in the '80s, even you probably remember who this dude was. He got a lot more bigger when I was a '90s kid, but this shit hurt to see yesterday, man. I really did. So I'm probably gonna do a video on it tomorrow. The OG icon legend himself, next to two other ones I watched a lot when I was a '90s kid, which the Maury Povich show. I watched him a bunch, even if he was a little bit of trash talking sort of dude or whatever. And then a lot of it was just a lot of garbage BS, like crappy old school '90s trash TV. Was that one and the other dude, like the Geraldo Rivera dude, he was real big in more in the '80s than he was in the '90s, but I remember him in the '90s a little bit too. Jerry Springer, man, he's gone. He's dead at 79, bro. This ain't no joke either. I thought it was like some joke that was going on Twitter or TikTok or Instagram. I'm like, oh my god, like, and you see guys seen those trends last year. Actually, when this other dudes make they're just laughing Pokemon. Oh, Dwayne The Rock Johnson's dead at this age, and they're just playing around with you. He was from Fortnite. You know, they try to make a big fucking joke out of it. It's stupid to me personally. You never joke about a person's death, even if they're high, super, mega, ultra famous, like very well known around the world celebrity, actor, actress, or music artist, etc. Even if I disagree with some of the stuff that they talk about, still, it's not. That's a real low blow to people that are fans of them. Not saying to idolize these people either, but I'm just saying. So rest in peace, big rest in peace to this dude, man, because he. Oh man, I remember when I saw that movie and I saw it at my cousin's house because I wasn't allowed to watch a lot of his shows or Jerry Springer. So, fortunately, I wasn't allowed to watch him at all. In my freaking strictly Christian religious household, my OG parents hated the crap out of this motherfucker, big time. They did not like his shit at all. So my parents were highly against me watching this shit back in the day. But and I got to became a grown adult, and I didn't know there was a spinoff after that. Was the Steve Wilkos show? His security guard dude ended up being like in charge of the spinoff, which he was a lot more funny. I was able to watch him a couple times, but I only got to watch this show like twice ever, man, on my own house. But the other times I got to watch it at my cousin's place. Thank God, because they weren't little overly strictly Christian religious idiots. But anyways, let's get on to the main meat and potatoes of this thing. Silvervale Veibae, the VSHOJO, and go indie. Silvervale Veibae has left VSHOJO. Will keep their personas. It's actually happened a little bit longer ago. I think it was a Tuesday or Wednesday when this happened. The other one was way older than this. This is like 7-8 days old, even though it says from yesterday. It's Unreal Legend 5 game. Recorded as French sensational to the game. Sensational game, so realistic. Why is it so realistic? Anyways, links to description box down below to both these articles, and let's truly begin now, because I don't want to waste your guys' time. So it says, virtual VTubers Silvervale Veibae have left VSHOJO after deciding not to renewing their contracts and decided to go indie. These two talents have also reiterated that they won't be joining any agencies, nor did they decide to leave at the same time. The timing announcement of the departure was just purely coincidental. They also reminded their audiences not to make too much of a speculation of the departure and about their departure, as they simply didn't want to continue their contracts with VSHOJO. And the official, right here, the official tweet from VSHOJO themselves. This is real, then. This ain't fake. Because they got a gold freaking play button. Because I remember that was last month or earlier this month. Elon Musk made a bunch of adjustments to which freaking check marks people got. For the blue check marks, just a whole bunch of regular people. And for like the gold check marks, either companies or industries or very expensive, like super extremely expensive, I don't know, technology based companies or I don't know, anything with food or furniture, any of that stuff. Real big necessities. It says, to our community, Silvervale and Veibae have chosen to renew their contract. We so respect the decision to make, helping them, to thank them for helping make VSHOJO what it is today. They also retain their IPs. This is the really big, important kicker here. Also retain their IPs so they can continue as their creators you love. Wow. We wish them the best of luck, best of the next leg of their journey. Sincerely, the VSHOJO team. So most of the time, if any people don't know this, once their thing is over, with their contracts, all these other places like VSHOJO, Niji Sanji, what else? Nam Nam Bites, I think that's what it's called. Hololive. And a bunch of other these Japanese, Asian companies, especially the ones over in Japan. I don't know if there's any in Europe. Highly doubt there's any here in the United States, but I'd be surprised. Most of the time, once they're gone, their contract's over, and they graduate, they're not allowed to take their avatar, their little avatar virtual VTuber anime waifu looking design with them. They have to let the company take that away from them. But these ones, they completely dodged that bullet completely. These two were able to keep their virtual anime manga waifu VTuber looking persona with them. So that's a very huge mind blow to me personally. So it says, but despite the two leaving VSHOJO, the two talents kept their identities as Silver and Veibae, as they will continue their activities in the VTubers personas. But at this time, as their indie talents, this is an arrangement that is outside of the norm compared to the VTubing companies such as Hololive and Niji Sanji, as they hold their intellectual properties and their talent VTubers persona. Yeah, like I said before, they keep their VTuber modeling persona. These company industries like Hololive and Niji Sanji, they take that away from them completely. They strip all of that down because that belongs to them. Their little anime, manga, like virtual VTuber anime avatar persona that model design, that stays with the company. That's why this was a really, really big, like, iceberg in the water here, man. So let's move on. Similar agreement was also practiced with a now defunct English virtual VTuber agency, CyberLive Etheria. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Etheria. Let's move on. Sorry about that. VSHOJO builds itself up as a talent first that lets its talent have freedom during their streams and provide their necessary resources needed by their talents. They also get the other existing VTubers to join their group. And most of the prominent examples, such as K-san later, they were also joined by Haruka Karibu. Hopefully I'm saying it right. Silvervale was one of the VSHOJO's founding members, along with the other VTuber Project Melody, Iron Mouse, and Natasha nyanners. And I know all these other ones too. Fruit and Himi Hajiyami. The oldest ones I remember are these three. Project Melody, Iron Mouse, and the nyanners. Actually, nyanners, she was way older because I remember in 2014-15, years ago, way before VTuber was a thing, I used to hear her voice all the time. So it also goes on to say yada yada. They were then joined by Veibae in 2021. Yeah, so yeah, overall thoughts, views, and opinions. You know what? Round of fucking applause to these two. I'm glad they were able to keep their freaking personas, man. That's a very, very hard thing to do. I don't know what type of negotiations they had to do with the Asian Japanese companies over there. They probably had to do some real EX, very not safe for work favors. They probably had to pay them $1 billion something to keep their IPs. It must have took a shitload of money and a lot of hard ass agreements to keep their little anime waifu model personas with them. Still mind blowing to see it, but let's go on to the second one. So this one right here is a lot more crazier. I know it's like 7 days old, even though it says it's 3 days old. It's way older than that. Unrecorded is the French sensation of the game. It makes it so realistic. This comes from William B. from Game News 24/7. I haven't read from him in like 2 months, more or less. So it says published by 425. Yeah. Oh, okay. So yeah, 1806. I don't know. I think that's like 7 or 8 o'clock nighttime. So it says, let's continue. Some days ago, the Unrecord S word, I can't say that word, captured an ultra unrealistic engine image, but couldn't we all let it all go, speaking with his feelings. Is this realistic? I don't know if this person's language is French or German or Russian first. I don't know if it's a European language first and then English second, because this dude's got a lot of typos the way he speaks English, but whatever. I'm only going to read half the article. It's a very long, lengthy article. It says, I still have trouble believing it's a real game, so when I look at these images on record, the reactions were almost unanimous. The French studio Drama's Horn, Spinder, and Hirabani, hopefully I said Theo Hirabani, were the two members of the rap group, that word I can't say either, shown to the public to snippets of the realistic Unreal Engine 5 creation of the, so her voice turned to silence. The experience of a FPS camera is the camera attached to the shoulder of an officer. For anyone who likes real-world, Unrecord offers an immersive narrative experience with complex dialogues, innovation, mechanics, and moral dilemmas. A proposal so ambitious that some begin to fake cry. To help the video capture the images, lead programmer Alex Splendor, hopefully I'm saying that right, posted a background development on Twitter, so that way they would be a real success. The team says that in the game developer and Unreal Engine 5 gameplays is taken from an executable played using keyboard and mouse, in the same way IGN journalist said to get an old version of the game in 2022. That was a result of the uploaded of it to see if that game was genuine and wasn't a joke. Turns out that the game is real and is a real game, even though suspicious has faded. The network becomes a constant question among these, and I felt a little bit sick to the trailer. Are video games totally realistic? Are we too real for our best? And I remember some people a few days ago saying, oh, this looks like that first-person shooter or FPS, like GoPro freaking movie Parkour Henry. It does look a little bit like Parkour Henry. As I looked at the trailer myself, it looks very hyper-realistic as hell. It says, I wouldn't be happy, or I won't be happy for these. I skipped this one, but whatever. Some Trainwreck TV, this guy said it. Very big Twitch streamer nerd. Wouldn't be happy for this level of realism. The video game should be heavily moderated for blasting anyone over a certain age. Hope their parents do their thing. This level of realism makes me feel embarrassed to say if I'd seen a real leak, or the level of realism, in my opinion, is genuinely credible for nonsense of politicians that sprouting over for years. That video games let young people lose a sense of empathy and apathy for their trends of bad situational agreements. The distinction between people and their communities is different. Yeah, and that's the last one I'm reading. You guys could see the rest of it on your own. Thoughts, views, and pins at the end. Hopefully I get to do that. Following the announcement, Unrecorded and body cam games was popular in paranormal tales. Hopefully I'm saying that right. The horror looks something realistic that causes you to get a lot of cold sweats. Oh, I bet it does. And halfway between The Conjuring and Blair Witch Project, this game is an artful game with a distortion high level of everything in the following pitches. You play as a man who lost his dog Teddy in the forest and should finally begin looking for him. Problem is, unfortunately, seems to be hanging out in haunted houses occupied by an entity that frankly wouldn't seem very well suited, because the experience is so real that will make the dead dead. No one seems to accuse the studios of being too harmful for realism. This correlation between, photorealism and police blanks experience seems disturbing. The info is taken from the from the Steam page. It can be described as a combination of Firewatch and Ready or Not. I don't remember what Ready or Not is. I remember the game Firewatch, though. The players should have investigated multiple cases and confront different characters. There are no mechanical visions of crime and police, bad word, which is experiences certifies the studios, as they insist their images are likely to stir up to our souls, I guess. We also respect and understand why people might be disturbed by versions of a game. Art can't compete with interpretation. Yeah, so overall thoughts, and opinions real quick. This shit looks way mega hyper realistic. I feel like I'll probably get sick in a boating experience. If I was like in the air, if I was like seasick, this is the type of emotion that shit would give me. I'm not saying, oh, it's a bad thing, and all these politicians I know are going against us. A lot of old boomers are probably going to be shitting on this thing badly, but fuck them. I don't care. Looks awesome. That's all I can say for now. I'm out here. Peace out, ladies and gentlemen. Fanboys, fans, talking moves. I'll see you guys next time. Later. Goodbye.